Continuing now with our lead story, President Trump's speech before Congress in just a few moments. It's coming up. Joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, John Meacham, presidential historian, author of the book Destiny and Power about Bush, President Bush the Elder. So first of all, did I leave anything out of the talking points that Mr. Trump should address tonight?
I think one thing that he could say, and it may or may not do any good, it probably won't, but why not get the points for doing it, is saying, look, we're all Americans. He needs to, I think, put himself in the presidential tradition, began with Jefferson, runs through Reagan, of a kind of big-hearted, optimistic vision for the country. And I think his supporters would say he has that. Many of his opponents, however, fervently believe, as you know, that he doesn't share that view.
So you think he should try to persuade everybody to give him a chance? Doesn't that look a little weak if he does that?
How does it, you're President of the United States. You're not going to look weak if you make an assertion of Americanism, of national identity. It actually flows from his basic worldview. I mean, why not argue that the people who are out protesting me are as American as I am, and my job as your president is to convince enough of you that what I want to do to make America great again is the right way to go.
All right, so you would be conciliatory toward his opponents. I think you can take that up to a certain level, but there are haters out there.
Sure.
You know, and I don't, if I were him, I'd stay away from the press tonight. It's not the right forum to go after the press. The fake news thing, not in front of Congress. Now, but let's be honest here. I don't think that whatever he says is going to persuade any Democrats to support him. I mean, it's a really polarized Capitol right now.
It absolutely is, but that's why you might get some points, and it's not going to hurt, you know. I don't think it's going to make you look weak. He's got a strong base in the House. He's got 52 senators who are going to be with him certainly right now and going forward. So I don't see what
I didn't get Lisa's
loses.
contention he didn't have the votes. He does have the votes to get most of the stuff done. I think he'll get the Supreme Court justice in. Judge Gorsuch, and I think that at this point he's got to get 10% more of the folks. See, if when he speaks, again, I wouldn't be speaking to the Republicans or Democrats. I've been, again, using this to talk to the folks. You've got to get it up to about 52, 55 approval, job approval. It's doable. I mean, you don't have that many people hating him.
Well, and there's also, you know, it's a diminishing center, right? So there, as you say, there aren't that many people there. Is it 10%? Is it 12%? But I think that what a lot of folks worry about is that he's too pugilistic. He's too quick to punch back. And I take the point that he's punching back as opposed to unilaterally punching on the front end. But that's, I think the tweets worry people. I think the fake news stuff worries people. And I think that, you know, you're not going to get any Democrats, but he's got, what, 85% or more of Republicans. He's got a strong base there.
Yeah, he's got
enough oxygen to reach out.
But let me take issue for a moment. He got elected being pugilistic, verbally pugilistic. He got elected. And his base wants him to lash out at the people who not only hate him, but they hate anyone who supported him. See, that's the difference. You know, I didn't dislike President Obama when he got into office or even when he left. And I certainly didn't dislike the people who voted for him. But now they do. They think these Trumpians, people who supported Donald Trump, are like the basket of deplorables that Hillary Clinton described. And so that there's a real anger on the part of Trump supporters. They don't want him to be too mellow. You know, he gets too mellow, they're not going to like that.
I'm not suggesting you walk over to Nancy Pelosi and sing Kumbaya, which I think is unlikely tonight. What I am suggesting is that historically speaking, and you know this, great presidents don't simply govern for their base. They govern for the base plus. You look at Ronald Reagan, who came in, you know, we think of the 1980 election as a big landslide because it ended early that night. As you know, it was, you know, he grew that number to the 49 states.
84 was the big landslide.
49 states.
Right.
And he did it by convincing a lot of people that he was not, as he himself once put it, a combination of the Mad Bomber and Ebenezer Scrooge.
That I think Donald Trump would be very wise to follow the arc of Ronald Reagan, who had a rough 2 years, obviously shot, And then he was able, by mostly his presence, mostly his personality, and the improving economy, but it didn't take off until the second term, okay,
exactly.
to you know, get 49 states, because people said, you know what, this guy looks like he's looking out for me. So Trump would be smart to look at that. Hey, John, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Directly ahead.